Okay, we're at the MCM Expo in London 2012 and I'm Murray Curry from Lucky Hit. That is Leks.
It's me on the camera.
And we're in the queue.
And this is the early queue, so there's nothing yet.
This is the pre-queue.
Yeah, on entry we've got our wristbands and stuff, and I expect this is a program. Yeah,
a little brochure.
And we got a goodie bag from Forbidden Planet, which was nice of them. Prometheus poster, up and coming film, leaflet for a film that I didn't even hear about.
Nice.
And the best bit being, well, free anime DVD. Cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth getting here early. So yeah, we're at MCM. We've found some games to play around with and have a go of. So spent all that money and came all this way, and this is what I'm doing.
Well, we've got to get him out of the house really. I'm sick of him playing Minecraft, so we brought him back to, oh, for fuck's sake.
But Tom, it's in my town. Right. Kinect Star Wars. I don't know how to play it. I'm just going to swing my arms around like a knob and hopefully I'll have a go, I suppose. When he goes to the right, try and block right, up, down, left, right sort of thing. Yeah, and then when he steps back and you've got the opportunity, yeah. Alright, nice one, Ninja.
I look like a penis, I'm going to stop.
I think they're actually really good scores though.
At least I'm using this one though. Everyone else is using the bloody first one.
See, you want to launch off that, really. So how do you feel about that, Tom?
Fuck off!
This is a Lollipop Chainsaw stand.
Yep. I was going to give you a nice little review of it, but unfortunately I've just been told we can't. So, but it's Chainsaw Lollipop.
Yeah, so we got lollipops, which is better than nothing.
I'll get in trouble.
I'm sure you'll give us a lowdown after you played the game. That's actually an awesome lollipop.
Oh, good. What would be your numerical evaluation of that lollipop?
That's got to be 9.5 at least.
9.5?
The only thing it's missing is fizzy.
You heard it here first, 9.5. Right, just had a little go on the demo version of a Lollipop Chainsaw Lollipop. All the way around it goes usually. What can I say? It's exactly what you can expect from what you've already seen on the internet, all the videos that have been going around. It's exactly what you can expect from Studio 51. Just hacky slashy, but a lot of fun and a lot of humour to it, a lot of B-movie silliness going on, some cheesy voice acting, some great little music. Just a fun, fast-paced hack and slash really. What can you expect? Good game. Can't wait for it. And those there are the dickheads.
Go over to the booth, you can play as a Marine and play against some of you guys as the Xenomorphs, right?
Well, actually, we're playing as Xenomorphs right now. So you get to actually see how they work and see how everything runs out. And then you get the chance to play as a Marine. But when you watch this as Xeno, when you watch everyone play as Xeno, try to get like how they're playing, because it actually makes you really want to be sticking together. So if you do get to go play how to play, yeah, you want to stick together, because if you're straggling behind, you're just running around doing something, a Xeno will definitely creep up behind you and just take you out. Because the Xenos are pretty lethal, they'll kill you in a couple of hits. And so if you're not careful, if you're not using your tools, your motion tracker, your pulse rifle, or your shotgun, you're going to get killed really quickly.
You go over to the booth, you can play as a Marine and play against some of you guys as a Xenomorphs, right?
Well, actually, we're playing as Xenomorphs right now, so you get to actually see how they work and see how everything runs out. And then you get the chance to play as a Marine. But when you watch this as Xeno, when you watch everyone play as Xeno, try to get like how they're playing, because it actually makes you really want to be sticking together. So if you do get to go play how to play, yeah, you want to stick together, because if you're straggling behind, you're just running around doing something, a Xeno will definitely creep up behind you and just take you out. Because the Xenos are pretty lethal, they'll kill you in a couple of hits. And so if you're not careful, if you're not using your tools, your motion tracker, your pulse rifle, or your shotgun, you're going to get killed really quickly.
And in the meantime, Brian, what inspiration have you taken from the Alien movies? Like, have you taken? Is there any particular movie that you've taken inspiration from for the game, or?
Yeah, Aliens.
Aliens. Just the second one.
No, actually, all the films did a really good job of portraying the Aliens franchise in different ways. Like, Alien is a really good. The first movie is a really good horror film. Like, there's not a whole lot of like shooting guns and all that stuff. But it really isn't, because there's no guns, right? So in Aliens, you actually have a lot more action, a lot more combat. And it's much bigger. So you want to have both, because people kind of perceive the Aliens franchise as being one way and the other way at the same time. And so what are Aliens without the horror and the tension and the gore? And what's Aliens without the Marines and the action and the blowing stuff up?
Cool. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to the question over there.
Hiya. Because there's different types of Xenomorphs in the game, how did you sort of come up with the different breeds and different styles to go, holy crap, that's scary?
A couple of different ways. Some of it was driven for gameplay, but because we're canon, it actually has to fit in with the rest of the franchise. And so we can't just make up Xenos just because we want to make them up. They actually have to have some kind of reason behind them, and there's got to be some kind of purpose for them in the hide and how that all works. So when you get to play the game, you get to understand how all that stuff works. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it all has that. It actually makes sense when you get to play the game.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Next question from, let's go here, black t-shirt. Sorry, Cam. In the meantime, one of the questions we had sent into GameSpot was about the co-op. Can you talk about co-op at all?
Oh yeah, you can play the single-player campaign with both, by yourself or with your friends. So it's drop in, drop out, four-player, up to four-player co-op. We also have split screen, so that's really cool.
And we haven't even talked about platforms. It's on PlayStation 3, Xbox, and PC, and that's split screen on all platforms.
And the Wii U.
And Wii U as well. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I had a go yesterday at the multiplayer, and it was a team deathmatch kind of aspect. But I was wondering, are you going to do like a survival mode with 4 people at all?
Well, there's a couple of modes that we've been working on that we haven't announced yet, and you'd imagine stuff like that would be really smart to do. So, yeah.
Cool, hopefully that kind of answers your question. Can we go to the gentleman in white in the middle? You can pass the mic along, maybe.
Hi. With the aliens being able to use all of the surrounding areas and stuff, and you've been able to use the motion tracker, which I really love as a Marines, what else in the environment can you use as a Marine to defend yourself?
Well, in the environment, like certain maps have different things you can do in them that are like environment or map based. But you have the tools that you have on you, like the motion tracker, are really useful to understand what's going on around you. But you're not quite sure what is, because you don't know the exact position in the world. But it gives you a roughly general sense that they're coming from that direction. It really gets really creepy when the dots pass you and you don't actually see them doing it. But the other tools you get to use, you pick up the smart gun, and that's pretty badass. And you want to actually do more. In the other modes, you'll get to see some more of what you're talking about. But that's yeah.
Thank you very much. Question down here at the front. Brian, you announced, was it I think last week, that the game is coming in February now?
February 13th.
February 13th.
Good Valentine's Day gift.
Hi, I've noticed that the acid blood hasn't actually seems to cause any effects on the Marines. In the final version of the game, will the acid blood cause any damage to the player or any other Marines that are with the player at the time?
Yeah, the acid blood's actually pretty devastating when it actually gets in the Marine, but there's a threshold by which if you shoot them with a shotgun and they're right in front of you, it's going to do more damage to you. But there's some balancing to do on that, because what happens when your buddies or your other people with you shoot a Marine, like shoot a Xeno right next to you, you can control some people pretty fast. And actually the acid is pretty devastating in the game, so you really want to be careful about that. Kick them away and do stuff before they actually get too close to you. Because when they do get close to you, the thing that's going to kill you most likely is the Xeno. And so they, one or two hits you're down.
Cool.
Are you able to say much about the development on the Wii U and how that's been, and just sort of how it plays differently on that?
Well, the Wii U, we haven't talked much about that yet, and Nintendo still hasn't released a lot of those details. And so all I can say is it's actually really fun, and it's you definitely have interesting controls lead to interesting things. So yeah, but in the future we'll talk more about that for sure.
Cool, thank you. Any other questions? Let's go to the back. The guy in the red t-shirt just there, the Flash. Go on.
Hi, how are you balancing making the aliens scary still in an action game?
Sorry?
How are you balancing making the aliens scary, but still within an action game?
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a question that when we make the levels, we're always thinking about how to actually do that. And some of it's a lot to do is with pacing. And so when you're making the levels and you're going through the environments, you want to make sure that you have a nice little. When you go into a new space, it's unfamiliar to you. You need to understand how things are going to work. And so because when you go into that first space, you don't know if that vent is going to be something you need to worry about. Because vents are going to be something could happen there, right? In development, we call them points of possibility. These are areas that something could happen, and so we weave that throughout the environments to understand that could be a threat, that could be a threat, that could be a threat, that could be a threat. I'm standing over graded flooring, and God knows what's going to come out of that. And you do all this, you engineer these environments, so you feel this tension of I just went to a really bad space. Something could happen, and that's really scary because even when you get to play the game, you quickly learn that when Xenos get to you, they'll kill you pretty quickly. And when they can get that close to you, you really want to understand the environment to not let them do that. And that's one of the things that feeds up the fear. But you also have the other elements that you expect in the films and that kind of thing to make it really the music means a lot, right? The overall ambiance and what's going on in the narrative means a lot, and that all comes together to make a really interesting, scary experience that has its ebbs and flows because we don't want to critique the player. That can happen really easily where it's like action, 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 and it's just like a fatigue of just I'm just shooting more and more stuff. Or it's, cat scare, cat scare, cat scare, and nothing ever happens. So you're just come on, seriously? And you want to really mix those in between to give a really nice balance of, pacing.
So if you're a big fan of the franchise, are you going to kind of spot things in there, Easter eggs, nods to the other?
Oh yeah, of course. So you go when you get in this locker, it's just completely littered with stuff. There's one shot of, I don't know if it's in this video, but you actually go in the dropship hangar, and you get to see where the Queen was fighting Ripley, and we actually were pretty meticulous. We actually figured out where the vents, the Queen ripped out, and where the vents landed, and then the map or in the spaces where actually that happened. You can see where Newt was running around. You can see all the lockers with all the guys' names on it, and there's some Easter eggs in that too. But it's that's just the tip of the iceberg of little things like that. But it's nice to get that stuff and play with it.
Nice.
You can't take it seriously.